What if I told you that death is not the end? That the moment you take your last breath, your journey is far from over? Right now, right this second. What are the dead doing? Are they watching us? Are they trapped somewhere between worlds? Are they trying to reach out? Think about all the people who have died, your ancestors, lost loved ones, even strangers. If you could see what they are doing right now, would you want to? Tonight, we uncover the terrifying truth. Welcome to Cosmic Flat, where we explore the unknown, the mysterious, and the chilling questions of life and beyond. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because after this video, you'll never look at death the same way again. And now, let's begin. Death comes suddenly for some, slowly for others. But what happens in those final moments? Let me tell you 3 true stories that will shake you to your core. The man who woke up in his own grave. In 2014, a man named Walter Williams was declared dead by doctors in Mississippi. His body was sent to the funeral home, sealed inside a body bag. Hours later, the morticians heard something, a knocking sound. Walter was still alive. Just moments before his burial, he woke up, gasping for air, confused, terrified. But here's the chilling part. Walter said that while he was dead, he could hear voices. He remembered seeing a dark tunnel, but also felt something pulling him back, as if something didn't want to let him go. What if the dead are aware of everything happening to them? The woman who texted from beyond. In 2011, a woman named Faye Jones died in a car accident. Her family was devastated, but 3 days after her funeral, her fiancé received a text message. It was from Faye's phone. The message said, "I never left." Terrified, he checked her phone records. There was no outgoing message. So how did the text arrive? Was it a glitch, or was Faye really trying to reach out? Have you ever received a strange message or sign from someone who has passed? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's get to the big question. When the heart stops beating, when the body grows cold, what happens next? Scientists say the brain stays active for at least 10 minutes after death. During this time, some people report hearing their loved ones crying or even floating above their bodies. But what happens after those 10 minutes? Some say the soul watches its own funeral, unable to speak or move. Some believe they are greeted by shadowy figures, escorts to the afterlife. And others, they say they see nothing, just darkness, silence, a prison of emptiness. Which one do you think is real? Tell me in the comments. Now this is where things get truly terrifying. Religions speak of heaven, hell, and purgatory. But what if those aren't the only destinations? The waiting room phenomenon. Many people who have been clinically dead and revived describe a place they call the waiting room. It's not heaven. It's not hell. It's a gray, endless place where souls wander. Some lost, some waiting to be judged. One man described it as a hospital without doors. Another said it felt like an airport terminal where no flights ever leave. Can you imagine being stuck in an eternal waiting room? Ever felt a sudden chill in an empty room? Or the feeling that someone is watching you? Many believe the dead never really leave. Shadow people and watchers. Some spirits stay behind, watching over their families. Others lurk in the shadows, waiting. But for what? Experts in paranormal studies say spirits feed on emotion. They linger near their loved ones, feeling their grief, their love, their pain. And some, they whisper, they knock, they try to make contact. Have you ever felt a presence in your home? If the dead can think, do they dream? Some paranormal experts say yes. The afterlife might be like an eternal dream, where spirits relive memories over and over, trapped in their happiest or worst moments. Imagine waking up in your most painful memory and never escaping it. Some spirits are seen repeating the same actions, walking down hallways, opening doors, whispering the same words. A woman who walked into her own funeral. In 2020, Security cameras at a funeral home in Texas captured something horrifying. A shadowy figure entered the room where a woman's casket lay open. Witnesses say the figure looked just like the deceased woman. Then, it vanished. Was this her soul, trapped in a loop, revisiting her own funeral? Many people who have come back from the brink of death describe two very different experiences. Some recall a blinding, warm light, a presence that feels like pure love, pulling them into peace. Others describe a terrifying void, an emptiness that feels endless, as if they were falling into nothing. Why do some people see heaven, while others see nothingness? The man who saw the void. In 2015, a man named Jeff Markin suffered a massive heart attack. He was declared dead for 40 minutes, but just before doctors could call time of death, something happened. Jeff sat up. He was gasping for air, shaking, looking around in terror. Later, he described what he saw. I was in a dark tunnel, but there was no end, no light. Just this feeling that I was being pulled down into something I couldn't escape. Why do some people see a bright, peaceful light while others see darkness and despair? Is it a reflection of how they lived, or something far more mysterious? What do you think? Imagine this. You pass away. Time no longer exists as we know it. A minute feels like an eternity feels like a moment. But what if, after death, you are simply waiting? Many paranormal researchers believe the dead linger until their loved ones join them. The woman who saw her mother's spirit waiting. In 2018, a woman named Rachel lost her mother to cancer. A year later, she had a dream that felt too real to be just a dream. Her mother was sitting in a chair, looking at her, smiling. "I've been waiting for you," she said. Rachel woke up crying. But here's where it gets truly chilling. A few days later, Rachel's uncle passed away suddenly. That night, she had the same dream. Only this time, her mother was standing next to her uncle. Was her mother waiting, not for Rachel, but for her brother? Could it be that after we die, we wait for those we love to follow us? Some spirits don't wait. Some find ways to return. But why? Are they lost souls, seeking closure? Are they trying to warn us about something? Or are they simply refusing to leave? The haunting of the Greenbrier ghost, a true case of a ghost solving a murder. In 1897, a woman named Zona Shu died under mysterious circumstances. Her death was ruled natural causes, and she was buried without much question. But weeks later, her mother began waking up in the middle of the night, screaming. Zona's spirit was visiting her. She told her mother that her husband had murdered her, breaking her neck in a violent rage. Desperate for answers, the mother convinced authorities to exhume Zona's body. And to their horror, the autopsy confirmed it. Her neck had been snapped. Her husband was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. But think about it. If Zona's ghost hadn't returned, would her murderer have gotten away? Can the dead truly come back when justice hasn't been served? And if they can, how many spirits are still trying to be heard? If you've ever had an experience with a loved one returning, let me know in the comments. So after everything we've uncovered, right now, at this very moment, what are the dead doing? Are they watching us? Waiting for us? Dreaming? Or are they somewhere else entirely? Someplace we can't even begin to understand? There's one thing we know for sure. Death is not the end. Maybe one day, we'll all find out the truth. But until then, stay curious, stay aware, and never ignore the signs. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to Cosmic Flat, because trust me, the mysteries only get deeper from here. Now tell me, what do you think the dead are doing right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading every single one.